The most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as always, is the co-host with the most, Jive Turkey Nano. How are we doing, folks?
Let's go. Doing great, brother. Great to see you as always. It was a fun trip to Nashville we took this last Saturday. Some big fights to talk about, some big moments, and just nothing but big vibes, man. Big ups to you and everybody here in the chat trickling in. We see you. We appreciate you. Let us know how you're feeling. Spam us. Put in the W's. Put in the L's. However you're feeling. Anything in between, man. But I'm excited to break it down with you, brother. Great to see you as always. Like I said, happy Tuesday. Let's go.
It's going up on a Tuesday, talking about the fights that happened on a Saturday. Oh, man.
Good reference. Good song.
I've so drunk in Nashville. I mean, it sounds like you may still be drunk, Grimy. But either way, we appreciate you being here, brother. Have a drink with us. We'll be having one shortly for all the picks we got wrong. There weren't many. We did miss some of them, right? You can't get them all right. With that being said, folks, we are going to jump right on into UFC Nashville. It was a banger of a free fight night card. And, man, we started off in the women's strawweight division with a bout between Fatima Kline coming in against Melissa Martinez, Super Melly. Look, man, we called a spade last week on the show. We thought Fatima Kline was going to likely go out there and get the dub. She did. She came out there, and I'm not going to lie to you, man. She fought a harder fight than I thought she was going to have to. It was a lot closer than it was on paper. She was the largest favorite on the card, and she only outlanded her opponent 95-52 in total strikes. Went 0 for 2 on takedowns over Super Melly there with the takedown defense. And I mean, it was a good showing for her, but not a great showing for her, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think I learned the things about her that I was hoping to learn about her, if that makes sense, Nano. What were your thoughts on this one, man?
Yeah, it was definitely more of a windy win, or in terms of path to victory, I would say, for Fatima Kline. Huge exclamation point to end it. Earned herself $50,000 and the performance of the night. Hard to knock that kind of combination that she put together, but I think half of it might have been just, Super Melly being super tough, super durable, and making it more difficult for Fatima to get her reads and find, the landmarker there and being the chin or just landing those big, powerful strikes. It was more of kind of chipping away here, there. Fatima did at least prove to me that she can be smart throughout a 15-minute fight, though it may not have been the most wowing, first or second round, averaging roughly 30-ish total strikes landed, about 10 per minute. If you want to maybe break it down even less than that, actually, as I'm recalculating my math here. Forgive me, I'm not in algebra anymore. But she did come on strong in that third round. And again, maybe it was just finally being able to get to knowing what Super Melly's doing, her movements. But man, I mean, yeah, that knockout, that leg kick was brutal. Like, I give Super Melly all the props in the world for being tough and showing a lot of heart throughout the fight, but I don't think a lot of people are going to survive that kind of kick to the face there. And Melissa Martinez, I think, will bounce back. She proves she's tough, but I think, again, we're talking about the first fight here, right? We're not talking about the heavy strawweight champions of the world. So some things left to be desired, but hey, big way to start the night here for the strawweight division and for UFC Nashville. Then with a little head kick, excuse me. But Fatima Kline, man, I mean, she's good. To your point, I don't know if I'm going to play matchmaker or if I have anyone in the top 15, which is kind of the question I think I would have posed to you. Sounds like maybe you're in the same boat there. We'll love to see her back in. We know what she's capable of, but we still have maybe some questions that need to be answered. Is that a fair assessment?
100%. That's a fair assessment. And I'm 100% the same boat. I don't care to play matchmaker for I thought it was a good enough fight, but again, like she should have been able to go out there and dominate that fight more handily, in my opinion, based on her tenure, based on her resume. And with that being said, we got to jump in the chat real quick. Grimy said, LOL, goddamn it, speech to text sucks. It's tough sometimes, man. I agree. Mike Yang said, what's going on? I'm typing in a car with my boss. Dude, I mean, that's just legendary moves right there. Come on. Legendary stuff. This fight reminded me why I go to the bathroom or smoke during WMMA. Fair, Grimy, fair. Besides Dakota Teixeira. Yeah, absolutely, my guy. Gotta watch those Dakota fights. Sav Jelly, hello, my friends. We'll hit the air horns for that. What's up, Sav?
Sav Jelly.
Anytime we have a stream and we don't see you, we're always asking ourselves,
where are you?
It's just a fact. It's a fact. Now, with that, we move into the next fight. It was a lightweight bout, Nano, between Mitch Ramirez and Mike Beast Boy Davis. And I mean, this fight went a little bit more the way I thought it was going to go. Thought it was going to be a little bit of a slobber knocker, a little back and forth action. But we thought our boy Mike Beast Boy Davis was going to come out there and get it done. And Nano, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. Tell the people, because they're dying to know, what did you think of this fight?
Man, I thought it was a fun fight. I thought the narrative going in was definitely one that had a lot of intrigue. You got the Mike Beast Boy Davis here, and like Sav Jelly said in the comments, he's back, right? And I think that was the big question: is what kind of version of Mike Davis are we going to see? It's maybe one of the best versions we've seen thus far. Really well-rounded first round, and ultimately was able to find a finish over a Mitch Ramirez, who proved to be tough as nails. I mean, obviously, I think skills-wise, Beast Boy had the advantage. He's a little bit more of the household name. He's got the Dragon Ball Z tats. I think all in all, just someone we all are rooting for. But Mitch Ramirez is definitely someone that you can appreciate his story, having kind of a checkered background and now making it here. Wore his heart on his sleeve and went out on his shield. But unfortunately, Mike Davis, man, I mean, really just overall, like I said, good, well-rounded performance in that first round, and then following up in the second round to be able to find the finish is just a good exclamation point, a good little French kiss to end the meal there, a little dessert, a little icing on the cake, a little cherry on top, so to speak. But this is a stacked lightweight division. I don't know if that win over Mitch Ramirez necessarily validates him to get a crack at the top 15 just yet, but maybe a top 30 guy, maybe someone else that lines up when it comes to just timing, which is everything here, is who I'd be excited to see. But my brother, talk to me and the people, man. How'd you feel about Beast Boy going beast mode in this Saturday night card here in Nashville, Tennessee?
Man, well, first and foremost, great breakdown as always, Nano. Sav Jelly saying Beast Boy is back. That's a fact. Leroy, oh my God, the Sav Jelly is in this chat. I follow you on Instagram, X, YouTube, and around town. Leroy, that's definitely not creepy at all, my friend. And what else wasn't creepy was this fight. This fight was absolutely bonkers. It was a fantastic fight. Again, back and forth, but Mike Beast Boy Davis, I digress. The man, the legend, the myth, he is back in the win column in a very big way over Mitch Ramirez. The knee that landed was just so well timed, right? Like it just landed perfectly timed. And then right after that, he followed up with very quick successive shots. And I thought it was a really good look, man. Do you have a name on the tip of your tongue for the young man?
I do not. I think in this kind of division, there's so many great names, like the Drew Dobers of the world or Thiago Moises, some of the OGs, even some of the young bucks too, right? It feels like we're kind of in between regimes here, so to speak. It's a little bit of a changing of the guard when you look at the top 10, top 15 now, and a lot of these young, up-and-coming, hungry prospects like a Mike Beast Boy David, or prospect's probably not the right word, but as far as people that are ready to potentially get that ranking, man, I feel like he's knocking on the door. I don't know if he's going to get the opportunity to get let in just yet. I do think he's probably one win away, if I'm being honest. If there's any names that y'all might think would be a good matchup for Beast Boy, let us know here. Love to see him continue to go beast mode. But again, even just looking right now at the top 15, I mean, a BSD, Ignacio, like those just seem maybe a little too rich for my blood. As far as, well, I guess maybe not. Maybe some of those guys make sense, right? Or a Ludovic Klein, someone that is coming off a loss to Gamrot. He tried to take that big step up. Maybe he's willing to take a little bit of a step down just to get back in the winner's column. Not that Beast Boy's a step down, but maybe in his book, a non-ranked guy is just a better chance for him. And again, those are just two that I'm looking at here in the top 20 that makes sense. And Nasrat hasn't found a while. He does have a dance partner. You throw Beast Boy in the conversation here, and that's maybe, I guess, if anything, it's the takeaway is that he is now in the conversation. Anyone that's ready to step up and try to get a crack at the top 15, this might be that eliminator, so to speak. But what about you, brother? I just kind of rambled and stalled to find a couple names, but I might be happy with anyone you mentioned if you have any in mind. Talk to me.
Yeah, I've got two names in mind, actually, at the lightweight division. So I think Matt the Steamroller Favola, it's been a while since we've seen him inside of the octagon, and I think that that's a name that matches up very, very well for both men. And then if we want to bite off a little bit more than we can chew, possibly, maybe we throw him to one shot himself, Mauricio Rufy. We know that he's coming off of back-to-back wins, and he is looking for an opponent. Right now, Tapology has him sitting at number 29, just one slot ahead of Matt Steamroller Favola, and I think that would be an absolute banger of a matchup. Little Mike Beast Boy Davis versus Mauricio Rufy. What do you think?
I like it a lot. I mean, man, not necessarily for Beast Boy, right? We're talking about one of the greats right now, one of the best prospects that isn't ranked, I would argue, at this point. So that makes sense in terms of what I mentioned, right? Like I said, hey, give me someone that is kind of a top 15 eliminator, and well, you throw a name out there that definitely makes sense. So I love it. Book it. You know, they both would answer that bell 100%.
You know they would, and you know, we have the best chat in the world for an absolute reason, brother. Sav Jelly in the chat throwing out the option of Drew Dober, Red Rover, send Dober on over. That's not a bad option, man.
Great game, and I think it's a great name as well.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. She also said, hope you like what you see back there, mate, to Leroy for following her around town. He surely does. Nano, I forget. Were we the same on this one? Did you have Kennedy and Zetchwu?
Yep, and I got my bottle here because we suck again, man.
I thought you did.
I took the striker, man. And I'm wearing the BJJ shirt.
I won't let you do one alone.
In honor of Valter Walker and in honor of the jiu-jitsu and the game, because, well, that's just what it deserves, man. You know, I got to give credit where it is due. And I thought Kennedy, the big striker, would be able to pose some more threats. But Valter, well, I mean, I guess if we're transitioning. But, yeah, man, I mean, he just decided to not take any chance, did he? He said, nope, I'm going to go and do what I do best. So,
well, hey, man, Kennedy and Zetchwu couldn't get off the hook, and neither can you. It's a bad little heel hook joke there, folks. It's a bad little heel hook joke. Good note.
Well, it's a good joke nonetheless, my brother. Good vibes all around. And, yeah, I would say my joke I was trying to think of earlier was something around the idea that, you know, I'm not into feet, but Valter Walker got me into heels. I might be into that heel. Get a little heel porn here. Give me that Valter Walker heel hooks, baby. What you know?
Let's go. Love that.
All jokes aside, you know, I respect any and all things that people are into. Okay, you can do what you want to do, but I am not. I am impressed by the heel hooks, though. I'm a heel guy. I think if anyone were to ask, hide your feet, but hide the dogs. But let me see that heel. What that heel hook do, baby? Thank you. Put me off stage.
With that, folks, Nano has a shot to do. We don't let people do shots alone around here. So if you're drinking, drink with us. If you're not drinking, that's fine too. We won't judge. We love you. Cheers to you. Cheers to us. And cheers to keeping on going, keeping on growing, and fucking heel hooks. Goodness gracious. Cheers.
Cheers. Salud.
And cheers to Mountain Dew Baja Blast being back in a can. God, I love that.
Good move. That move.
I mean, to not have to go to Taco Bell to get it is just fantastic. I will go to Taco Bell happily, but you know.
I think that's part of the allure to going to Taco Bell is the fact that you can get some Baja Blast and potentially repurpose it for, you know, the pre-game chasers and whatnot. But it's nothing more nostalgic than the only other thing more nostalgic than Taco Bell is a quick finish here in the UFC, and that's what Valter Walker delivered here in the heavyweight division.
Great
as well.
segue.
Gotta love it. Thank you, brother. I'm trying. The heel hook, man, 3 for 3 here in the UFC octagon. And honestly, what I will say that shocked me is how he was able to get there. Shocking in itself was him trying to jump across the octagon to take down a Kennedy, his opponent. But Valter's ability to, frankly, bull rush and send a barrage of 1-2 punches down the center line on a Kennedy was enough to get Valter inside, get to that position, him up against the fence, and like clockwork, drop down. Next thing you know, he's got that heel hook in, and he's ripping Kennedy's foot off. So he needs to tap, and there goes the fight before it even got started. Insane. I kind of jumped in there, but my brother, I wanted to leave some meat on the bone so you could let the people know. How'd you feel? Like you kind of mentioned, we both were rocking with Kennedy a little bit there, but man, what did this performance do to Valter, his career, that stardom, and just overall, man, what were your thoughts and takeaways here?
Yeah, man. Crispy breakdown as always, brother, and the segue was just fucking immaculate, dog. So good. I got to tell you, this performance was huge for Valter Walker. The fact that he went out there and beat an elite level striker with knockout power in both hands like Kennedy and Sechikwu. And by the way, Kennedy not only did he not land a single strike, Nano, but he didn't throw a single strike on record. The fight lasted almost a minute.
Jeez.
Like, to nullify anybody in that way who has experience as a fighter is pretty nuts, bro. Like, that's pretty insane. You don't see that very often in the upper echelon of competition in the UFC where we are. So I got to tell you, man, I'm a big fan of this Valter Walker guy. I think he's the better of the Walker family. And you know what? That's a normal thing, right? Like, even Johnny Walker whiskey. There are different colored labels for a reason. Some are better than others. They're not all made the same just because they're made in the same factory, dog. So this guy, this Valter Walker guy is fucking crazy. This Valter Walker, crazy guy. I think he's a fucking stud. And also, just a side note, if you haven't seen his video with Laura Sanko where he's trying to heel hook her, but it doesn't work because she's double jointed, definitely check that out. It is a funny ass video. He's like, and she's like, and then she stands up and she turns her feet to face the opposite direction. And he's like, what the fuck is this? In Portuguese, obviously. But he literally is like, what the fuck? His face is hilarious during that moment. So check that video out. Shout out Laura Sanko. She is awesome. And so is Valter Walker. Now, when it comes to what's next for him, I mean, do you give him a top 15 after this? I think you have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, to be able to do what he did 3 times in a row like that, to do it to a Kennedy who might have also been deserving of a top 15 crack, I think, why not, right? I mean, and it begs the question, which is a great position for Valter Walker, but in my book, it's like he has the namesake a little bit, right, with his brother Johnny, but also like, that's legendary stuff. Was it said that there might be 4 or 5 of them in the UFC and he has 3 of them or something crazy? Like, it's slowly becoming his submission. I think he might have the only ones, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I may even be giving himself too much credit. But like Sav Jelly's mentioned too, it's not like the division, has many other options or is, they're
going to start having to call it the Valter hook, like you said.
Yeah, they might call it the Valter submission because I can quickly look, but I don't know anyone else that's hit those. And he has 3 of them now.
The Blessed Express gets back on track this weekend. Osterberries, how dare you? How dare you come in here and that be your first comment?
And the
I
picture.
thought we were
and
friends,
everything.
bro. I thought we were friends. You
Great
hit
to
me
see
with
you.
a
Great to see
Mike
you.
Perry right now. You thought you had a friend, boy. Fucking
Stir the
guy.
pot. Stir the pot real quick. I like it, man. I like it. Gotta do what you gotta do. Great to have you as always. And yeah, I mean, in terms of what's next for Valter, I think you do. I think you do give him a top 15er. And I think if you're the UFC and you want to kind of strike while the iron's hot, you give him somebody that is a name. You give him somebody that will put on a
Are
good
you even
show.
listening, Leroy? You're making me question it. I just went on a rant about that.
What I will say to circle back to it real quick is during the live broadcasting, Senko did mention that that was the same, whether it was obviously the heel hook, I'm sure, but that might have been the same move or same position, or maybe there were different things that he showed Lauren, but Lauren like kind of mentioned live, like, oh, that was exactly what he showed me, or that's what he was drilling, or telling me. So it's like that was pretty telling in and of itself that like he knew where he wanted to get him to. Even if it wasn't, I mean, I think as far as that, like,
you've got to go watch that Laura Sanko video because that's exactly what she's saying.
Yeah,
like she's basically saying, like, yeah, this is exactly what he was drilling with me. Like she saw it right away.
Yeah.
And Leroy, you got kids, brother. I'm just fucking with you, dog. We appreciate you being here, whether you're listening for 5 minutes, 5 seconds, or 5 hours. Either way, we appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
No, I gotta jump in here. Do you have a name? Because I've got 2.
Ooh, I got 2 as well. Do you want to go 1 for 1, or do you want me to throw out my 2?
Let's go 1 for 1. Let's go 1 for 1.
Okay. Am I going first?
You go first. That way, if you have one of mine, at least I'll have one fallback. You fucker.
I think there's 2 solid ones, but I think one that probably makes the most sense as far as like maybe even headlining a potential fight night or getting onto a pay-per-view, or
I smell an Apex card.
The May card. There's some big boys that fit in that Apex, but we're talking about a Valter Walker here against number 10 ranked. And it sucks for my boy, but if he's in a fight, I'd like to see this against a Tai Tuivasa.
Okay,
the name makes sense.
That name.
I have another one that I thought you might have had, so I'm curious to hear your first one, my brother. But
the Tai Tuivasa shout's a good shout. It's a big name, like you said. Like, he'd carry a lot of weight if you got to win over him. The issue with that is, last time I saw Tai, I think he was pushing 400 pounds. He's got to lose 35 pounds to make heavyweight. That's
so timing might be off. Yeah.
Timing might be off there. I don't know if he's already in camp or trying to lose the weight, but he was a big boy last time they had him on stage, and he literally admitted to being over 400 pounds. Or sorry, over 300 pounds. The first name on my list is going to be the name that I don't think you have written down, because I think there's one name that we are sharing for sure.
Ooh, okay.
So the other name on my list is Rizvan Kuniev. Right? Like we saw him come out here, and he's not terrible. He is a decent fighter. He came out there and had a fairly competitive fight for as long as it lasted, which was the decision distance against Curtis Blades. But he also got outlanded by Curtis Blades, and Curtis was able to shoot 15 takedowns, even though he only landed 2. He racked up a lot of control time against him. I think where they sit in their careers, this is probably a really good way to give him a top 15 opportunity, with Rizvan Kuniev sitting right at that 15 edge. I know that's not one of the names you had. So what's the name that we're sharing?
Oh, man. Well, I do like that name a lot. I think 15 is a great entry point. Makes sense if maybe Ty's a little too high for the UFC and brash. But this next one, I think the chat might like, and I think that the UFC, just general fandom, us fanatics out there, even the casuals, can appreciate 2 young bucks going at it, ready to make a name for themselves. I'm talking about another big boy, like King Kong vs. Godzilla here, man. We're talking about a Shamil Gaziev.
All right. For once, we actually did not steal each other's thunder at all on these picks. Shamil O'Neal was not the name I thought you were going to say. That's
great name.
Wild. I said, should he get a top 15? And you're like, I want him to be closer to the top 10, bud.
I was like 10 or 11 for me. Yep. Yes, sir.
I went 14-15. I think Taliesin Teixeira, coming off of such a vicious loss to Derrick Lewis, would be a fun fight for him. And Taliesin shouldn't be a scrub on the mat, right? He's literally a Teixeira. But at the same time, can he deal with the heel hook opposition that's coming his way if that fight happens? I'll be honest, though, like, sign me up for Shamil Gaziev. Unless they give, like, the only reason I would say no to the Shamil fight is because with Shamil being ranked where he is and kind of having the power performances he's had, I would almost rather see Shamil fight Derrick Lewis next, or Shamil fight like
him go up, yeah,
Marcin Tybura or Curtis Blades. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like he deserves to get pushed here. But if he's willing to go down, I'm happy if he's willing to fight down. Sav Jelly said heel hooks are only going to get you so far.
And we got to find out.
Gaziev, let's go. Shamil O'Neal, baby.
Yes, sir. And yes, Sav, I think you're right. And hey, we got to find out.
Sav said, I don't think he deserves top 15. Mick Parkin. I'm not mad.
Pac in the car. I like Pac in the car.
I'm mad at that. I mean, the real fight everyone wants to see at heavyweight is Parker Porter coming back to the UFC and re-signing to fight John Jones. That's the fight we need to see, folks. Parker Porter versus John Jones. You heard it here first.
In the White House. You hear about that?
Parker Porter versus John Jones in the White House? Let's go.
That's what, at least the White House is supposed to be happening. Dana White went on a Pat McAfee show and said 2026.
Oh, that's happening for sure.
Yeah, I think he said it's going to be the 250th anniversary of America. So shout out there.
But lay it on us, Sav. Let us know in the chat.
Fights in the White House, y'all. It's going to be happening.
They're going to build something outside of the White House. In one direction, overlooking the fights, you're going to see like the Lincoln Monument or whatever. And then on the other side, you're going to see like the main building. I heard Dana talking about it. It's going to be crazy. They're going to build this structure and there's going to be no tickets sold either. It's going to be friends and family, which makes sense for security purposes. He's the fucking president of the United States. Love him or hate him. It's a lot of security involved here. So it should be an intriguing event. They're basically saying that it's going to be UFC Noche on steroids. It's going to be a tribute to America. You know what I'm saying? Good old US of A, baby. Speaking of US of A, what's up, Western Mass Climber? How we doing? He said, what up, Wolverine? Brother, how we doing? I should have brought the claws. Trying to get back in Wolverine shape, man. Trying to hit the gym a lot more in these next 2 weeks so that way I feel a little bit more like Wolverine for Comic-Con. Don't know if I've told you, Nano. I've got the 3 costumes lined up. We're going to do Han Solo day 1. We're going to do Wolverine day 2. We're going to do Clark Kent Superman day 3.
Oh, man. That's solid, my brother. That is a good lineup right there. And
Beard's going to be coming off more every day.
And it sounds like the LBs and a little bit of, a little bit of the... Oh, there they go. And adding on some LBs a month there. There we go. Got to fill it out, baby. Let's go.
Yesterday was back day. I'll be doing buys and tries after this, boys.
Like every day.
Every day. I gotta do something, bro. Until Comic-Con. I got to. This is like I tell everybody, like, Comic-Con is the best motivator in the world for working out because nobody wants to be a superhero that looks like a retired superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to look like the badly drawn Wolverine. I want to be the Wolverine where they're like, dude, that's a good fucking Wolverine. Like, the highlight of my Comic-Con was meeting the voice actress that plays Summer from Rick and Morty and asking to take a selfie with her and her saying, oh my God, you're the best Wolverine I've seen. Like, holy fuck, sick. We fist bumped. Like, I fist bumped Summer. Keep Summer safe. If you don't watch Rick and Morty, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. You should definitely watch Rick and Morty. It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's a great show.
I'm so stoked for Comic-Con, man. We didn't even get tickets this year and I'm stoked. We're just going to the free stuff outdoors. Gonna go people watch and just get into, like, there's a Dungeons and Dragons. So, like, they take over the entire city of San Jose, basically, or at least the entire downtown area. So they turn bars into different, like, activations. There was a SpongeBob Krusty Krab bar last year. There's gonna be a Dungeons and Dragons bar this year, a tavern. So we're checking it out. We'll be hitting it up, hit the Hulu animation domination thing where we'll wait in line inevitably for like 4 hours, but we'll get a dope ass exclusive bag and pen set and hella cool photo ops. And I don't know, maybe if I'm lucky, like last year, a professional boxer will walk up to me in line and ask me to try and hit him in the face with boxing gloves on. That was a great time.
There you go. You never know.
Shout out X Steven. Hope you win your next fight, buddy. Now, with that being said, Nano, got to jump into this next fight because it went exactly as we thought it was going to go. Women's flyweight bout between Lucky Lauren Murphy coming in against Eduarda Maura. I mean, we won't spend a ton of time on this, and I'll take it first, and I'll keep it very short and sweet. Eduarda Maura went out there and did exactly what she needed to do. Nothing more, nothing less. They squared away on 2-for-2 takedowns against each other. The difference is Lauren Murphy shot 9 times. Eduarda landed 66.6% of hers, landing 2 of 3. Eduarda also outlanded her 74-67 on total strikes, and on significant strikes, she doubled down and, or rather doubled up on her and landed 64 compared to the 38 of Lauren Murphy. I mean, the best moment of this entire fight, Nano, the best moment of this entire fight, 2 moments, were when it looked like Lauren Murphy might turn it around and get a sub, right? Like I thought there was a moment there for her, but then that moved. And then after the fight, Eduarda Maura coming up to her and speaking Portuguese to her, and the mic'd up thing was just so funny. Like Eduarda Maura was like, obrigado, like she's talking in fucking Portuguese. And lucky Lauren Murphy, just being the most American and uncensored woman in mixed martial arts possibly, looks up and says, I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Of course.
That was the moment of the fight for me.
That's fair. That's a good moment.
Thank you, Sam. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Oh, so good. She said, I wanted Murphy to get that ghillie so bad so she would get cooler comments on social media. Fair. And then in regards to, let's see here, in regards to Sav Jelly talking about this Karate Combat fight card coming up, Braxton Smith, he's from Austin, 0-1 in the UFC a couple years ago. Zach Pauga, oh, nice, from UFC. Alan Belcher, also from UFC. Alan Belcher, if memory serves me correct, the worst tattoo I have ever seen in my entire life. Also, the worst eye poke I've ever seen in my entire life. It's crazy that Michael Bisping took that man's eye from him the same way another fighter took Michael Bisping's eye from him. Just the stories you've never heard in MMA, folks. Go back and look up that fight. It was bad. He was already up, and then he ruptured the cornea of one Alan Belcher in the very last round. Bad eye poke. Chase Sherman versus Tim Johnson, and Despain versus Saulo Cavallari. Saulo Cavallari sounds like an appetizer. Not gonna lie to you. I would order that. I'd be like, oh, what's the Saulo Cavallari? That sounds fantastic. Can you describe that one to me?
Extra sauce, please.
Oh, I love that. It has a Diavolo sauce on it. I'll have the Saulo Cavallari with an extra bit of sauce on the side, please. Thank you so much. Can I get that before my meal? Tournament style. Finalists fight 3 times in one night. And the winner will fight the GOAT, Smiling Sam Alvey. Nice. I love that. I fucking love that. Nano, jumping back to this fight, what were your thoughts on not so lucky Lauren Murphy's performance and retirement? And just, I mean, in the term that we call ourselves, no filter. God, could it have been more no filter, the post-fight presser speech?
Yeah, definitely a lot of no filtering going on for sure. But overall, it was a fun fight. You know, generally speaking, I think it was a good outing for a retirement fight, right? For Lauren Murphy, can't really argue with that. You look competitive. Yeah, you may not have been leading the dance, but you really, proved to the world what you can do still at this age. And yeah, I just think the reality is like it's a young person's game, right? Men or women, obviously speaking here in the UFC specifically, like it's a young person's game. Like it's hard to stay ahead. And though she proved the ability to have sharp skills, it's kind of like, your uncle or an old relative that still has, good game, whether it's soccer or basketball or something like that. All to say, it's like some things just don't go away. You have that good IQ. If anything, she's probably the smartest she's ever been now, but the body doesn't keep up, right? So I think that's where those two things kind of intersect. And at 40-something, I think it's just a kudos to a great career in Lauren Murphy. But it's kind of what we expected. I think Eduarda could have maybe done more. Done more. Like, let's just say that. Like, could have been a little more productive. Could have tried to make it to where she was the obvious choice. Get a 30-27 or something like that to really, validate where she's at in her career. A win like that over Lauren Murphy could go a long way. But when it's kind of this decisive, both land a couple takedowns, both pretty close on the striking differential. In fact, I think Lauren might have actually technically landed more strikes, at least in a couple rounds. But yeah, man, overall, Eduarda's tough. She's very well rounded, even when she did get taken down, or when Lauren, had a perfectly timed takedown, she was able to reverse it and get it to a dominant position. I don't know what's next for her. I don't know if I am ready to launch into the top 15. So probably won't play matchmaker there. But excited to see what's next. I mean, that's a name that I will be remembering. And, and again, another quick kudos and giving her flowers to Lauren Murphy for a great career. Find into the 40-somethings. And like Lauren Sanko said as well, just to kind of piggyback what she mentioned, but it's, when she started fighting, it wasn't as glitz and glamorous as it was today. So she's a true fighter in and out of the octagon. So I'll just leave it there. But yeah, man, it was a good one. I don't know if you have any names or any other thoughts you want to add on top there, but yeah, it's a good one.
It was a good one. I thought it was a really good one. And I mean, look, if we're being honest here, I don't know, man. I just feel like she had a really good performance against an aging veteran of the sport. But is it enough to get her in the top 15? That's the question. Women's flyweight is definitely not the most stacked division in the world, but it is a decent enough division. I personally would like to see her fight, I don't know, man, somebody with a similar record as her, right? She's 12-1, so she doesn't have a huge wealth of MMA experience. Maybe somebody like I don't know, maybe like Wong Kong, Joker action. I think that'd be a really fun matchup. She's 8-1. She's looked really good in her last 2 outings, in 3 of her last 4 outings, if we're calling a spade. Outside of that, like, the only other name that really comes to mind that I think is a perfect matchup for her, again, just calling a spade here, it's somebody that I don't know if she's even still fighting, bro. Like, it's just, she's been so inconsistent with her timing. She fought twice in 2023, once in 2024, and we haven't heard anything out of her. She's not even made a blip on the radar since. I'm talking about a King Casey O'Neill. I mean,
yeah, I wonder what's happening with her.
I don't know if there's like a crazy lingering injury that we haven't heard about or what. But I can tell you something that's not lingering, or rather someone that's not lingering, someone that's always there just to support because he's the fucking brother. Talking about crossover MMA. What's up, brother? We see you. Hope you're having a great day. Can't wait to watch your live watch-along stream for Tough tonight. Folks, if you're watching right now or if you're watching at a later date, make sure you go on over to Crossover MMA's channel, like, comment, subscribe, so that way you know when he's live. Smash that bell for notifications. He does live watch-alongs for Tough, and then right after that, you can drop back on over to our channel and watch our post-fight show of Tough. Great breakdowns, great analysis, and if I'm being honest, the only reason I don't have him on my channel more often is because it would be a boring episode. We always agree on, I think, everything other than who's the best boxer in the UFC. It's Dustin Poirier crossover. We don't have to get into that right now in the chat. I love you. But yeah, make sure you drop on over to his channel and give him a like, some comments on those new videos. Hit that sub button, baby. Now, Nano. Little Super Mario action there. We got to move into this next fight because I'm just dying to talk about it. It was a welterweight bout between Jake Matthews, the Celtic Kid, or as we like to call him in our household, Buffton Bieber, coming in against Chidi Njokuani. Holy smokes, my friend. Holy smokes. Nano, my memory is a bit foggy on this. Did you take Chidi in this one?
Cue up the ASMR there with the bottle open, and I did take the striker as well, and I went against my better judgment. Leroy, I'm looking at you. I'm sorry, baby. Come back.
I tried to tell you.
I went against the Aussie. I know. It's on me. That's on me.
I did try to tell you. Dude, this is exactly it. This is exactly it. Shout out S-Dogs coming in here right now. The fucking dog facts, folks. 22 fights in the UFC at 30 years old. I'm going to let the dogs bark in the backyard for that whole time. Come on. Dude is the definition of a dog. And I do mean he is a dog. I do declare, Your Honor. The dude is an absolute fucking beast. We've literally watched him grow up in the UFC. And I digress. I do declare, Your Honor, he is back and he is on the attack, Your Honor. And I am under oath. No. Let's do this fucking shot. And I'm going to let you take the lead on this fight because fuck was it beautiful to watch.
It was beautiful to watch. I should have put more respect on my fellow 30-year-old. So to that, I say it's a shock in the world. And hey, chitty bang bang, bottoms up, boys.
To get better with age, boys and girls. Let's go.
Hey, to be 30 years old and being in your prime. And
damn crossover. Did you just rub a crystal ball or what, my boy? Because that's facts, boy. That's facts. Oh, his dog of the week is the diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Diamond.
You know what I'm saying? We're dude. Shine bright tonight.
Visions of
in New Orleans on Saturday, we'll have a fight. Shine bright like a diamond.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. We're out here, bro. I am fucking stoked. As of right now, I'm going to be watching it with the significant other's brother, and the cousin. Shout out Ninos, the winner of the fantasy league, the UFC fantasy league here. But I might bail on them come Friday. Who knows? Who's to say? Who's to say? I mean, if I see the tickets drop to a certain point, I don't know. We might have to pull the trigger.
I know that.
Garcia. We're going to talk about him later.
We are. We got some. But no, brother. I mean, hey, cheers to Jake, man. He went out there, took care of business. I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Let's go.
I mean, he did it early and often, right? He got to the spots. A badass trip on Chidi. I think, if it had more time to marinate, it could have gone a little different. But, dude, Jake Matthews just got on his back and just didn't let go, right? Was a little bit everywhere, readjusted a couple times, but he stayed committed, my brother. And, you got to give him props. It was savvy. They were still dry, right? It was very early on. Shit, I was happy. I was happy to be wrong. I was happy to do that shot here and eat my words, partially because you and Leroy and a lot of people were kind of leaning Jake Matthews. But my brother, paint the picture for everyone that didn't get a chance, or just give it to us no filter, man. How you feeling and how fucking good and how fucking soon is Jake Matthews going to be champion? Maybe that's a real question here, boy. Talk to me, man.
The boy is just entering adulthood, and yet alone, I mean, come on, he's also entering fight prime. But before I go into this breakdown, shout out to the myth, the legend, S-Dogs MMA Talk. Walking into the gym right now, just wanted to say what's good, boys, and still Nate the Train, baby. It's still Nate the Train. Check out this bicep, Austin. Let's fucking go. Big Cross, I'll see you later for Tough. And we'll see you after that for the post-Tough. You know what I'm saying? A little tough talk. A little tough love. Post-show. Man, Jake, the Celtic Kid Matthews, getting back to him. Can we just talk about how nice it is to see a well-rounded fighter like this? The dude has 5 knockouts, 9 submissions, 8 decisions. Come on, that's 36%, 41%, 23%. Pretty damn well-rounded, brother. Even when he loses, it's well-rounded. 1 loss by KO, 3 losses by submission, 3 losses by decision. That's pretty well-rounded if you ask me. And let's talk about the fact that he's only really lost to fucking beasts, okay? He lost to Kevin Lee in 2016 when he was literally a young man. He was 23 years old, okay? I don't know what would happen to me if I tried to fight a Kevin Lee at 23 years old, but I can tell you it wouldn't be anything fucking good, okay, Nano? I can tell you that for a fact, my boy. Johnny Hollywood Case, he rear naked choked him. Akbar Areola, that dude was supposed to be something next. He fucking got a doctor stoppage on him. Kevin Lee obviously got the ground and pound finish in round 1 over him. He was a young man. Andrew Holbrook was a stud at that time in 2016. Comes back, beats Bojan Velichovic, right? And then this is one that you guys might have forgot. Just in case you forgot, I'm here to remind you, okay? Call me Nickelback, because this is how you remind me. He beat Jing Ling Liang. Come on. He beat the Leech. Okay, he beat him by decision, unanimous. He got the unan on him. Then he came out there against Shinsho Anzai, got an RNC in round number 1, 3 minutes and 44 seconds in. They then gave him to Anthony Rocco Martin, who you may not remember, but the dude had mutton chops that would rival those of Wolverine, okay? Dude also fought like the Olivier Aubin Merciers of the world. That's one of his only losses in the UFC, right? I mean, he has 5 losses in the UFC, but you got to dig deep to look at those. And even if you dig deep, 2014 lost to Beneil Dariush. 2015 lost to Leonardo Santos. 2017 lost to Olivier Aubin Mercier. Then he lost to fucking 2019 Damian Maia and 2020 Neil Magny. Those are his UFC losses. That's one of the guys, one of the few guys that have beat a child, Jake Matthews, in the UFC. Oh, and by the way, he bounced back after that. Got another 3 strung together. Rustam Akman, Emil Meek, who, again, we thought was going to be the next fucking Viking warrior. We thought he was going to be Bane, but no, we got Bane now, right? Andreas Gustafsson looking at you, brother. And then he came out there and beat an aging legend in Diego Sanchez in 2020, followed by a name you might remember, a name you might recognize. The next name he lost to, Sean fucking Brady, who took 3 rounds to submit him in a close back and forth fight. Then everybody counted him out, including my co-host. This is not the first shot he's done because of Jake. Sorry, Nano. I had to do it. I had to do it to him, brother. This was an old episode here, right? Andre Fialho, 2022 circa MMAnomaly Show. Back when I believe we were still Dimma boys. Little blast from the past for you. Everybody, I think 92% of people on Tapology. Nano was one of those 92%. We're betting against Jake that night. I wasn't one of them. He went out there and got the right cross, just boom, down the pipe to the face of Andre Fialho. Knocked him the fuck out in round number 2, 2 minutes and 24 seconds in. Then he comes out there and makes us think that Matthew, the Jedi Simmelsberger, is a great fighter. Because Matthew was able to come out there and get the unanimous decision over him. Jumping through the next 4 or 5 here. Darius Flowers, RNC, round number 2. He really likes that RNC, right, boys? Michael Morales, another name you might know, right, Nano? The guy that we think's probably going to be champ in the next 3 years. That's his last loss. And since then, he strung together 3 back-to-back wins over Phil Rowe, the Fresh Prince, Francisco fucking Prado, who we just saw prove to be impossible to put out. Fucking impossible to put out. And then he comes out there and puts out Chenny and Chagwani via RNC. Again, I'm telling you, people, he likes that sub. Look out for it. If you're training to fight Jake, train to fight a snake because he's going to wrap up that neck, kid. It's going to happen. I like this dude a lot. You said, when do I think he's going to be champion? And I know that maybe you were saying that facetiously or like jokingly. I wholeheartedly think he does have championship capabilities. The dude is an absolute beast, and he's an absolute beast in a division that, honestly, we used to make fun of this division back in 2022, right? We called it the welter weight division because everybody just seemed to want to wait for a title shot. No one wanted to seem to fight back in those days. Now everybody wants a fight. Now, Nano, the question that lies ahead is, do you have a name on the tip of your tongue at welterweight for Jake Matthews and what you think should be next after this emphatic win in round number 1? Less than 2 minutes, less than a minute and a half in against Chidi and Chokwane.
It was a big one, right? I mean, both of these guys are notable names in and of themselves, and I think both of which are arguably deserving. I mean, they're both ranked in the top 20-ish, right? I think Jake's currently floating around that top 20 number on our usual spot to look for rankings here on Tapology. But what I would say is, man, and it's a short list, right? I mean, you look at someone else that fought on this card that is also ranked. I don't think that's the right opponent just yet. But there is somebody that is not ranked and that I feel is deserving of a ranking. So maybe it is going to be like we just mentioned last fight, a top 15 eliminator. And I'm talking about a very scary man, but he's also known as a rude boy in Randy Brown. I think that'd be the fight to make, man. Unless you catapult him a little bit higher up, but you just look at the current landscape. A lot of people have dance partners. Again, when you're top 20, there's only so many names left before you are looking at a number. So talk to me, my brother. I know you're a fan just as much as I am of Jake Matthews, and I think no better time than the present. And if anyone's going to get the nod, it would be a Jake Matthews who, like it was mentioned earlier, has fought for what feels like a decade and has had 20 plus fights, whatever the number is, something was crazy. But how do you feel about my name in a rude boy, Randy Brown? And who do you feel is a good matchup for Jake Matthews?
From a matchup perspective, I always think you do a great job, Nano. And this is no different. I think this is a great matchup for him. Rude boy Randy Brown, who we're a big fan of on this podcast, and he's a fan of ours as well, which is fucking incredible to know. Shout out Rude boy Randy Brown first and foremost. I think it's a good fight, Nano, but Rude boy has expressed interest in somebody else this weekend. He wants to avenge Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He wants to fight Gabriel Bonfim, and that's the fight that I think should happen next for him. I think trajectory-wise, that fight just makes all the sense in the world. And there's another fight that Sav Jelly was so kind to put before I had the pleasure of saying it in the chat. And that's this. I want to see Jake spank Action Man, is what she said. To which I responded with, stop taking my picks, Sav. And she said, I try to wait till you're done, but I was excited about this one. Yeah, me too. Me too, Sav. That's the name on the tip of my tongue. Both men coming off wins. Both in the welterweight division. One is kind of an aging legend. The other is an aging legend also, but he's just now aged to age 30. He's just now a man, right? So no offense, Nano. I know you're there too. But hey, welcome. Welcome to manhood, brother. It's only going to go up.
I'm ready for it.
It's only going to get better. Everything gets better except for your digestive system, brother. That's a fact. So look into a good primary care position and get some stomach meds. Get ahead of the game, you know.
Enjoy the spicy foods while I can. I will.
Oh, no, I'm from Louisiana, brother. I still eat spicy foods all the time. I just have a doctor prescribed fucking medication to help counteract the damage I'm doing every day. It's a necessary evil to have, brother. So, yeah, I like the Randy Root Boy Brown call out. But again, I really, 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 really think the fight to make is Chris, the Action Man Curtis. But if we don't go with either of those, the other name I had written down was a Vicente the Silent Assassin Luque if he still decides to fight for the UFC. He's coming off of that loss recently. I mean, we were there. We saw it. It was against Kevin Holland. It was an anaconda choke. It was gross. I mean, Kevin Holland's fucking terrifying. He's fighting again this fucking week. Right? We'll be talking about him again on Friday with the actor Brandon Stanley, folks. Him and his buddy are going to be joining the show. If you like She-Hulk, he played Leapfrog. I loved that show. I thought it was fantastic. If you liked Peacemaker Season 1, make sure you are ready and willing to watch fucking Peacemaker Season 2, because it is going to be a wild ride. He is going to be on that as well. And I personally cannot wait. I would tell anybody, Peacemaker Season 1 was probably my favorite comic book show of all time. So can't wait to see John Cena flex those acting chops again on August 21st when Season 2 comes out. And can't wait to see my boy Brandon Stanley make his debut on the series, as well as his debut on the show on Friday. So make sure you're tuned in for that. Now, going to the next fight, Nano, we're going to keep talking about him because he is the Action Man. I just said his name. I'll say it again. It was another welterweight bout between Chris, the Action Man Curtis, Nano, and Max Payne Griffin. Nano, I'll let you take the lead on this one. Tell the people what you thought.
Man, I thought it was a really, really close matchup. I thought it was exactly what the doctor ordered, is exactly what we projected here. We were a little Nostradamus in terms of our parlays, cha-ching there, and us hitting that. I say us, but really that was you seeing that and being willing to pull the trigger. I agree. I mean, it made sense, right? You look at both of these guys, they're durable. They're two OGs in the best way possible. And they put on a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, good old-fashioned fisticuffs. Just a good fight, man. If I'm being honest, I thought that the boy, and I'm not talking about the Action Man, I thought that his opponent was potentially winning that fight in Max Griffin. I thought, and then I wasn't looking at the stats, you know, in retro, seeing that Chris did outland him in that second round. That was kind of where I felt was the tweener, and why it was ended up being a split decision. Makes sense. I think that the judges, I could see why they're split, was what I was trying to say there. Because I thought Max might have had a good chance on winning, man. But when you pull back the onion layers and you really reflect, and then you just look at both these guys and where they're going, I guess it makes sense. Chris Curtis was, owning the octagon, the middle, and it felt like every time he was landing, it was purposeful. He did drop Max at one point, but I don't know if it was more of a slip because Max was just throwing like a 3 or 5 punch combo. Might even threw a kick as well. So I think he was just off balance, but I don't know if they counted that as a drop. But yeah, man, overall, it was a really fun fight. And the reason why I didn't say Chris Curtis, Action Man for, our boy Jake is because I think there's someone else that I'd maybe prefer to see him matched up with. I guess while I have the stage, I'll just quickly say it because it sounds like you already made your pick on who you want to see Action Man Chris Curtis go up against next. But I think someone like Vicente Luque would make sense as well. Both in similar stages in their career, even though Vicente is a little bit younger, but both have been around the block for a long time. I actually had to double check that they haven't fought already. It feels like they both are guys that I'm just surprised they both have been fighting for a long time. I'm just surprised their paths have never crossed. Maybe now's a good time. Vicente's trying to get back on the pedestal, right? He's trying to get back out there. I'm sure he lost to Kevin Holland pretty quickly. I don't think he took a lot of damage, so maybe he'd be willing to do a quick turnaround. I'm sure Chris is always about that action, boss. So he's going to accept the call. And yeah, man, those are my 2 cents. Overall, it was a good old-fashioned banger with 2 OGs, and Chris did just enough to edge it out. But I genuinely thought Max might have did enough. Tell me and the people how you're feeling. If you think Luque makes sense at all, and well, obviously, maybe get to that secondary here. But tell us about the fights and your thoughts on what's next here for Mr. Action Man.
Man, great breakdown as always, dude. I mean, I thought Action Man looked good out there. I thought he said the weight cut was easy. He said with the right nutritionist, they made it extremely easy when he was talking to interviewers and such this week. If that's the case, he might be a real problem at welterweight because he did look really good out there. Aside from what Sav Jelly said, right? Like, what's a Chris Curtis fight without hella whining? Not wrong, right? Like, not wrong. They let Chris Curtis win because he would have thrown a tantrum. She's just a hater, though. She also did think he won, but still, he was crying a lot about those eye pokes and such. I mean, yeah. And going back to what Nano said here, I did think it was a slip. It looked more like a slip than a drop to me, but I digress. Like, was it counted as a knockdown? No, it was not. So we're okay. We're good. Chris still won the fight, 71-63 on total strikes, 64-59 on significant strikes. Both men got 0 takedowns. The only difference is Chris Curtis at least shot one. His opponent did not. I genuinely think that if Max Payne would have went for takedowns, he probably could have gotten some hefty control time on Chris. He's not super great on the bottom. And there were a lot of times where he was just wading in and not really having his guard low for a quick sprawl. He comes in with that high, like classic boxer style, which you have to with MMA gloves, right? You got to keep them pasted to your face. But at the same time, if he would have just shot a blast double or even just speared that young man, it would have been a quick fatality. And then just a lot of top control from him. I wouldn't have been mad at it. I definitely would have been mad at it. But I digress. Chris Curtis goes up there, gets it done. We called the fight being very close. We called the fight going back and forth. And we called Chris Curtis getting not only a decision, but a very close fought decision. And that's exactly what happened. Like you said, Nano, very Nostradamus-like of us. Give myself a quick pat on the back there for that one. I don't get them all right, but when I do, boy, I get them right on the fucking head. Yeah, I'm with you. It seems like we're building a bit of a menage a trois here with our matchups. I like the pick that you have. I'm going to stick to my guns on this, but if any of those 3 guys get matched up against each other, I'm a happy dude. To be completely fair. Like, Jake Matthews versus Chris Curtis, I think it's a really good matchup. I also think that, Chris Curtis versus... Fuck, why am I blanking? What's the name you just said? Silent
Vicente.
Assassin. Vicente Luque. I don't know why I remembered his fucking nickname, but not his actual name. Vicente Luque versus either Jake Matthews or Chris Curtis. Gonna blame the trip to Zimbabwe right now for what's happening upstairs.
There you go. Fair enough.
Praying at the synagogue that we pulled through this. Nano. It's a bit of an intense moment, but we're moving into the main card now, and we're moving into a light heavyweight bout that we were not right on. It was a bout between JR Tafa. I told myself I'd wear the bad man shirt if he won, but he did not, so I'm not. Coming in against Tuco Tokkos, more like Tuco Duashatos, you know what I'm saying? Because we done fucked up, Ron. We're both wrong on this one. It was a tough fight to watch. It was a tough pill to swallow. And, you know, I don't know why I do this to myself. Sometimes I get so excited about a guy's physique and just like what they look like moving to a different weight class that I forget that his biggest hole in his entire game was grappling. And everybody at light heavyweight has better grappling than everybody at heavyweight. Right? So we should have seen this coming. We should have seen this from a mile away, a fucking Texas mile away. Tuco Tokkos went 5 for 9 on takedowns here, man. That's a reverse of Dolly Parton's working 9 to 5. And you know, he made it work, man. 5 to 9 all fucking day on those takedowns. Got a hefty amount of control time. 31 total strikes across 9 minutes and 25 seconds. It's not a lot of strikes. It's not a hefty striking matchup, but he still went out there and got it done, did Tuco Tokkos, and he grew a fan in me. I mean, look, I picked the wrong guy. I'll call a spade a spade. He got the arm triangle choke. As soon as I saw the setup, I was like, that's in. It's done. And it was just a matter of time before our guy tapped. Clean setup. And with that, we do a clean shot. Pour it to the top here, folks. Cheers to you. Cheers to us. Cheers to all we'll accomplish in the year 2025. And cheers to the fact that this was one of very, very few wrong picks on our bets this week, folks. Let's go.
Salute.
Sav Jelly said, Tafa made me mad, and I think he's too hard-headed about improving to make it much longer. I hate that you're right, but you're not wrong. You're 1,000% not wrong, Sav. And what's up, Miss B? How you doing? Cheers to you. Hope you did a shot with us, hon. Glad to see you in the chat. It's been a long time. Shout out to the old OG crew. Let's fucking go.
Lego. Great to have you. Let us know how you're feeling about these fights. And
No. Give us your thoughts, man.
Yeah, disappointed, man. Definitely disappointed. You know, they were kind of talking about it on the commentary about the weight cut. And like Chris mentioned, a good nutritionist and his body seemed to adjust well to it. I don't know if it's one of those things where, you know, looking at a JR Tafa on paper, we just assume, oh, he'll be able to cut the weight and he'll respond totally fine. But I guess we have to kind of keep in perspective where that's the first time he's truly cutting down and really depleting his body to that level. We and even himself, I don't think really knew what it was going to look like in terms of the recovery, how much he was going to be at, even just if we're talking percentages. I mean, you can argue with the weight cut, you're probably not getting back to 100% if he was even walking in at 100%. So best case scenario, maybe you're going back in there at 99. You could make a case because of the weight cut and all that. Maybe he just didn't respond well, the body and everything. Maybe maybe he was in there at 80%. Sad face, Leroy. I'll help make you, feel better. Wink, wink. But not for JR Tafa. No love for Junior because, he's just like Tuco. Tokkos just run a train all over, man. He just was a complete freight train. And I don't even know if that's really a big part of Tuco's game, but he obviously has it in the bag. It's part of the repertoire, and Junior just really didn't have an answer. And there were some moments, there were some 12-by-6 elbows that were borderline illegal, but were legal. I think there might have been a couple other exchanges where Junior had some moments, but it just, when you don't have an answer for the ground game, it's just really only a matter of time before the wrestler's going to wrestle, right? And all things lead to that dead end, and it's not good for Junior, man. So, again, luckily, him and his brother have the namesake. They're honestly one of the few fighters in the UFC that can probably lose and not really lose a ton of value, right? Where most people, and like a Tuco Tokkos, kind of fighting for his roster spot. And boy, did it show. Big win. I don't know what else stood out to you, my brother. But yeah, maybe we could talk about what's next at the end. So tell the people what stood out to you. And like Sav Jelly is saying, are we now staying away from the Tafa bros in general?
My God, my brother in Christ. Yeah, we are. We are staying away from the Tafa bros in general. Junior Tafa and Justin Tafa. I mean, I think neither of them are bad, man. They're just men at this point in this game. And like I said, like he went down to light heavyweight. I think he was hoping that power was going to transfer in a different way. And it did transfer, right? It certainly transferred. But what he has to think about is exactly what Sav said. And she said earlier, he's too hard-headed to get any better, right? Biggest hole in his game is his grappling, and that is even better for these guys at light heavyweight, man. So you got to improve. You got to get better. Otherwise, it's a quick route to the chopping block and into Bellator or PFL or whatever the fuck else there is after the UFC for you. Because it's not going to be UFC for very much longer, my guy. What do I think should be next for him? I've got two names on the tip of my tongue, or rather a little menage a trois, again, as we like here on the show. We got Ion Cutelaba, the Hulk, right? 19-11 and one no contest. Coming off a decision loss. He's coming off of a couple of back-to-back wins. And I got to tell you, my guy, I think that's the right matchup. Other than that, loser of Paul Craig versus Modestas Bukauskas. Do you have a name on the tip of your tongue, though?
Ooh. Honestly, both of those are great names, my brother. I definitely like the Ian Cutelaba pick. I think that one makes sense. I always like trying to answer the question, are these individuals after this fight ready for a top 15er? And I don't think Tuco Tokkos should get that nod necessarily. But we're talking about a light heavyweight division that's got a ton of names, ton of talent. You got to always look at kind of the landscape and who's available. But if you're a Tuco, hey, maybe you want to, be known as the hype killer, the prodigy killer here, the prodigy slayer. And maybe you want to look at someone like a Navajo Sterling. Maybe you want to continue to beat up these Aussie boys, and that might be one that might have something to say about it. Still needs to be proven. He's ranked 28th. I don't know if that's too low for a Tuco who is coming off a big win. Junior Tafa might have been getting the Dana White treatment and getting a higher ranked opponent. Dustin Jacoby's always out there. That could be a potential name as well. I think that's really favorable for a Dustin Jacoby personally. But again, that wrestling is no joke. Tuco definitely made a name for himself. And yeah, man, I like the names you mentioned as well. I think can't go wrong with he put himself in the driver's seat. So good on you, Tuco.
Definitely good on him. And speaking of someone who did really, really well in a weight change, moving to the heavyweight division for someone who went from the light heavyweight division on up, talking about a Vitor Petrino coming in here against Austin Lane, former NFL player who was only able to land 3 of 4 strikes. He only attempted 4 punches in this fight. But that's all he really had time for, right? Vitor Petrino just kept cutting off the distance, cutting off the range, and he looked really good at heavyweight. And more importantly, Nano, it looked like the speed held. It looks like that speed and power that he brought to the light heavyweight division carried over in spades to the heavyweight division. And I think it's going to be a major problem for a lot of people that he faces. DC said himself, like, he started off in the heavyweight division and had a lot easier time than he did before moving down to light heavyweight. When he got down to light heavyweight, he thought, wow, everybody's so fast here. Everybody's so technical here. And it made him improve tenfold before he went back up to heavyweight. That being said, Vitor Petrino has spent an entire career at light heavyweight just being that good. The dude is 12-2. He's only had 2 losses in his career, both at light heavyweight. I think it's going to be really hard for anybody not named Jailton Almeida or Tom Aspinall to beat this guy at heavyweight, brother. I'm being completely honest with you. I think he's going to be a fucking massive problem. And I don't just mean massive in terms of size and muscle mass, my guy. Nano, what were your thoughts on this fight? What stood out to you the most?
Well, it's definitely every bit of that, right? I mean, I think first thought is similar to what Sav Jelly said. Not just the fact that that's what a heavyweight should look like, but also her melting smiley face and the fact that he is a beautiful chiseled man, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. I agree with all that. I retweet all those. Dude's a problem. Dude's a straight up problem. I was not necessarily concerned, but the question that needed to be answered was, how's he going to look in the heavyweight division? Once I found out he was like 250 something, I'm like, oh, geez, okay. I'm expecting like 220, 230. Ooh, I'm worried. But 240 seemed realistic. 250, I think they said 259, 255, anywhere in that range. It's like, okay, he's a legitimate heavyweight. And, you know, if he's going to go out there and say, hey, this is where I feel best, I can go out there and train 100% and actually focus on the skills itself. I think that can be a good testament for a lot of fighters who, or maybe potential future fighters, if you're listening to this somehow, some way, like, subscribe, appreciate you. But also, you know, factor in, like, where do you feel the best? You know, it might be the coaches are always going to tell you, hey, go lower, go lower, go lower. But Vitor did a great job being a good athlete and just understanding that, you know, for someone like him, it just doesn't really make sense. Like, he's in a good spot. He's obviously big as shit. He was just depleting himself, frankly. He was doing too much, and as you get older, it's hard to maintain. So I think he quickly found a home, and the power, all that's translated, and now knowing he's just going to focus on his skills means the next time he's in there, he's going to be a little bit better and that much more of a problem. With that being said, I did want to make the comparison. You know, Austin Lane, he's a big boy as well, right? I mean, he's 6'7", he's 2-something as well, 260, I believe. And though he's not a fighter, you know, he's a football guy, he's a defensive end. And you mentioned the athleticism. I mean, boy, like Vitor Petrino is built like a modern day linebacker, right? Who is kind of a middle ground between a defensive end and a cornerback, or like a more like a finesse position. He can do it all. Like, he's that explosive. I mean, we saw him take down Austin, but that strength, like everything about him, man, yeah, he's an issue. And I would like to potentially see him get a crack at the top 15. If not, I mean, literally anybody, man. Anybody could get it, and it's going to be a fun fight, whether it's someone like a Honata Denise. Honestly, that's someone I really like. Mick Parkin was mentioned earlier. A Rosenstreak, if you're really trying to, like...
You've already mentioned one of my names.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. Go ahead. Jump in.
No. I'm happy with it. The two names I have were Yonata Denise. I think it's the best matchup. And then other than that, Marcos Rogerio de Lemos. Or de Lima.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Like, he's not that far down the list. He's 25 on Tapology, coming off a TKO win recently. I mean, he also most recently KO'd Junior Tafa, who was on this same card. So trajectory-wise, timeline-wise, those fights make a lot of sense. But again, if I'm being completely honest, give me Yonata Denise against him, who just coming off that win over Alvin Hines. Hell, even Alvin Hines. It's a fun new heavyweight to put him against. Let one of those two guys build a name off the other. Yeah.
It is a fun one.
And you know that guy's not going to say no to a fight. If they give Alvin Hines another chance and they give him a full camp, that's a scary dude, bro. Like, Dana had to tell him to get off the scale. He was so juiced to be there. He's going to sign the contract.
Didn't want to leave. Yeah. That's a guy.
I wouldn't either. Like, none of us would want to leave, brother. None of us would want to leave. That's just a fact. Oh, we have so many shots to do tonight. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm prolonging these next 4 fights because 3 out of 4 of them, one of us didn't get right. It's tough. Featherweight division. We had Nate the Train Landwehr coming in against Morgan the Last Pirate Charriere. My goodness gracious me, was this... I mean, hey, I didn't get the pick right, Nano, but I said it'd be fight of the night. And fucking hell, bro. It should be fight of the night because it was in our hearts. Like, Nate the Train walking up to him, talking shit in between round 2 and 3. I think that cost him. He should have just fucking, you know what I'm saying, hit the buzzer, gone back to the corner, reset, and then come in a little bit, more patiently. But he didn't. Instead, he rushed in. He got knocked the fuck out in round number 3, and that's why I've already got a shot poured up, Nano. I'll say it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. He was winning that fight up until he wasn't. he found the range in round one, like about halfway through. He started landing bombs, and Morgan did not like the shots that he was landing. And when Morgan was able to get him taken down, which happened typically when he was hurt, he wasn't able to get a whole lot of control time, right? But I digress, Nano. We have a shot to do.
Yeah, unfortunately we do, man. We do, man. But we'll always ride with our guy. As that dog said, the dog's barking in the backyard, baby. Come on.
Woof, woof, motherfucker. Cheers. If you're drinking with us, drink right now, folks. Looking at you, Miss B. Raise it up. Cheers to you. Like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff you do on YouTube. We appreciate you.
Salud.
Dustin Poirier is pound for pound the best fighter in the UFC to never win a belt. And Mountain Dew Baja Blast is pound for pound the best chaser for alcohol. It's just a fact. Those two things are unanimously true.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not saying nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Cheers, Miss B. Appreciate you being here. Sav Jelly. Oh, I forgot about the knees. Yeah, it happens. It does happen. Heavyweight's such a stacked division full of names. It's easy to forget about any of them. That was me being facetious because there's like literally 30 heavyweights in the UFC right now. It is the shallowest division in the world. I only know that because we just recently did our UFC fantasy draft, and that was a tough division. Now, what is not a tough division is the featherweight division. And Nano has to give his breakdown right now for Nate the Train versus Morgan Charriere. Nano, my goodness. I mean, before you even talk about the fight in its totality, let me ask you this, right? As I take another rip at a pin here. Going into the third round, Morgan's hurt. Nate's literally screaming at him as we cut to commercial. What are your thoughts? Do you think that Nate is about to go out here and blast this fucking guy in the third round or what?
Man, there definitely were some moments where, it kind of felt like, I'm going to turn my camera a little bit here, but it almost felt like Rocky, right? It felt like the little engine that could, the underdog story potentially coming out on top. Potentially. There we go. I say potentially, y'all, because, though the heart in the dog was big, the fight just, I knew it was kind of unfortunately a matter of time. Like Sav Jelly mentioned here, as soon as Nate started yapping, I knew he was going to lose. Maybe that was the UFC gods, the fighting gods, striking down upon thee with some instant karma. Because what ended up happening is, Morgan Charriere did take it out of the judges' hands. First round was competitive. I mean, really, the key difference maker was the leg kicks. I mean, it was early and often. Sav Jelly here in the comments, hate it. I was looking forward to his interview. Laughy emoji. I mean, anything he does is absolute cinema. I think he's the one guy maybe you want to hand it to him when he loses as well, even though it's typically only like championship settings or things like that. But yeah, and he's on the mic. He's absolute fire. I think he'll be golden on YouTube if he ever decides to do it. We'll welcome you with open arms. Hell, you can even come on the show. We'll interview you. Nate the Train, we're a big fan. Love the way you go out there and fight, man. You really throw down and you're all about trying to whoop ass. And hey, you win some, you lose some, but it's all about how you get up, and you always stand 10 toes down. So we appreciate you for that. Nate the Train, Landwear. But unfortunately, man, it was your night, right? This MF Frenchman came in and took care of business. He really got you with the leg kicks there. All of a sudden, I'm talking to Nate the Train. It's kind of fun. The leg kicks are really
interesting. It's an interesting approach. I'm not gonna lie.
Kind of fell right into it. But the big takeaway was the leg kicks were big in the first round. Nate the Train, in true fashion, bounced back in the second round and in a way almost started to get better as he got more beaten and bruised. True Rocky style. And then didn't need much time in that third round. Morgan took care of it. They started talking about the boxing. He displayed it. He hurt Nate. And it really wasn't much, but just like a shark in open water, you sniffed some blood. That's all she wrote. So it was a well-earned fight of the night. I think anytime Nate the Train's on the card, that's definitely means that's potential fight of the night opportunity there. But for Morgan, man, I have kind of an exciting name that I think is next for him. Not necessarily a huge name, but I think both these guys want to make a name for themselves. And I think that's why it would make sense to match them up. They both just fought
You know how
recently, too.
long I've been waiting for this? I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Boom said, I mean. So, well, I mean, give us your breakdown, and then maybe we'll dive into the names.
I already did my breakdown, brother. Let's hear the name.
Okay. What about a little and again, this is someone that is on a fight win streak. He only has one loss, and he wants the big names. This would be a big fight. I'm talking about a Jose Delgado. Just put a beating on our boy Hyder Emil recently. That I know you don't necessarily like the Icarus effect and getting two hot prospects to fight against each other, but what's your gut reaction to that one, my brother? Give me the knee jerk.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That is definitely a bit of an Icarus effect. You got two guys that have potential star power written all over them, and you're putting them against each other. That's a bit of a tough break. But I'm also not mad at it, right? Like Nate was the stepping stone for Morgan Charriere, if we're calling a spade here, as we often do. It's just tough because, like, how highly do you rate that win? Because he, as you said, Nate was starting to find the range. He was starting to find ways and paths to victory there in that fight. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I had a different name in mind. And it's possibly even further up the rankings. It's possibly an even scarier fight. But it's a total opposition to the trajectory you're painting, right? So I'm talking about the guy in the very next fight. I'm doing a lot of this lately because I feel like trajectory-wise, it matches up. Time-wise, it matches up. Both guys are coming off of a fight card in the same date, of a similar recovery time. I'm talking about Calvin Kattar versus Morgan Charriere. Talking about building that pirate name on the Calvin Kattar game. He's fought a who's who. He's fought just litness of legends. Give him somebody that doesn't have one-shot knockout power like Morgan Charriere.
Oh, double muted myself there. Happens to the best of us.
It happens at least once every few shows, brother.
That's why we're live and thriving, baby. Gobble, gobble. And jiving, of course. But yeah, man, no, that's a great name. I think it's an absolutely great name. Calvin is going to want to get, like I mentioned, he's going to want to get that taste out of his mouth. So definitely makes sense as far as the timing goes. I like thinking about people that have fought recently because they'll end up wanting to take a little bit of time and then getting back on to a full camp. So I think the stars align. And, if you're a Morgan, you're looking at potential two dogs, two legends, two studs, and slowly, adding some big names there to your board. So I like it, man. But this Frenchman's good, man, and he's got a whole country behind him. I think the hype started to become real.
I agree, man. I definitely agree. He's paving the way, bro. Like you said, he's trying to make a name for himself out here. He's been waiting a long time for this. So I'm happy to see it, brother. I'm a huge Nate Landwehr fan. Thought he'd come out here and be able to defeat the opposition, but I digress. I was wrong. Hey, folks, the next one, though, we were right on, and this is the best time to make sure, if you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell for notifications. You know the drill, folks. As we move into this featherweight main event, it was between Calvin Kattar coming in against Steve Garcia. And man, oh man, was it a banger. It was a banger for the ages. Steve Garcia coming out here with the most patient game plan we've ever seen from him. And folks, by the way, patient from Steve Garcia is 250 attempted strikes across 15 minutes. What the fuck? I mean, that's just insane volume. And I literally would tell you watching this fight, I said 3 times out loud, wow, he's very patient tonight. Wow, he's very, very mature tonight. He's very patient. No. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one because I definitely had thoughts on this performance.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet. My boy Steve Garcia came through for me when it comes to the fantasy league. And I think just in terms of our predictions and what I think he needed to go out there and do, I kind of was hoping it was going to be a bloodbath. He mentioned in his pre-fight build-up that he wants to make it bloody. And if it's not bloody, it's not a fight. I think he certainly wanted to, at least in theory, but once he got in there with the Calvin Kattar, who I think you could just kind of tell off the rip was not going to overextend. He was really staying in his box, moving up, down, a little side-to-side movement, but it was really just a lot of head movement and then 1-2 jab, really clean, kind of traditional boxing from a Calvin Kattar, which, again, we expect that. But for whatever reason, just really neutralized Steve Garcia in that first round. Maybe it just took him a while to kind of get comfortable. 8 strikes from Calvin, 22 from Steve. But then it kind of started to pick up from there. And as it picked up, it was really Steve Garcia leading the dance. It was really Steve going out there and, as they said in the commentary, being awkward. But I think a lot of that is intentional. It's trying to attack it from different angles, maybe angles that you're not used to seeing it. So trying to play little tricks, a little bit of illusions with the eyeballs. But boy, does he pass the eyeball test for me. I love everything I'm seeing. I have big trust, big faith in the boy. And now that he's ranked number 11th, which oddly enough, he's tied 11th with Dan Ige, according to UFC.com. Don't see the ties too often. I don't know why he can't just have his own number. Give the man some credit. But yeah, brother, I'm impressed with his performance, as GSP would say. And, I guess we'll wait till the end here to hear, because I'm curious to hear your breakdown before I give my name for what's next for Steve Garcia. How did you feel about this, my brother? And did anything stick out in terms, maybe for better or worse, from this performance here?
So, I mean, there's a number of things that really stood out. One of the things that mainly stood out was Calvin Kattar establishes 95% of his game with his jab. Steve Garcia did something that I don't think I've seen. And again, I'm comparing these two fighters, but the move that they use are completely different. I haven't seen anything this clever since the fight between Dominic Reyes and John Jones. Like, John Jones is known for poking people's eyes, and Dominic Reyes would punch his hand every time he'd do the open hands in his eyes. And like, that was a great combatant, because, like, I don't know, have you ever been punched in your hand? Doesn't feel good, bro. I promise you. You have extended open hand, not balled up fist. It hurts even worse. You're not going to do that very long. So that was a very, very smart tactic to utilize. Now, Calvin Kattar, he utilizes the jab, and he also likes to hang his hand out as he's getting ready to set up the jab. So he'll hang it here and just, so he'll keep it in your face and just do a short jab where you don't see it coming. So my hand's in your face, already blocking some of your vision. Pop, 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 pop. I don't need to do damage with the jab. I just need to follow up with something. So what was interesting to me that really stood out, like I always ask you, what stood out to you? What did you learn from this fight? So what stood out to me, what I learned from this fight about Steve Garcia is he's a very smart fighter. He's a very intellectual fighter, and he's a very savvy fighter, right? Every time Calvin Kattar would put that hand even partially away from his guard, Garcia would slap it. He did this for almost like 10 minutes of a 15-minute fight. I advise you to go back and watch it. It was so nice to watch. He'd slap that hand down, and then he'd slap the hand down, and Kattar wouldn't know what to do, because like, you have that hand, it's a test, it's a read, and you're not used to that move. So when someone hits it, you're off balance. So I'm here. I'm now only able to guard my face with one hand. So 50% of my face is exposed no matter where I put it. Where I put my hand. So he'd slap that hand, do a good job of just boom, roping the right hand in, or slap, boom, boom. So that way, even if you block the first one, the second one's going to land. You're not going to be able to move your hand faster than I'm following up with a shot. And even if you do, it doesn't feel good, bro. I promise you. Shout out Tuco Tech. My guy. What's up, y'all? What's up, you, bro? Long time no see. Love seeing you in the chat. We try to do an early show every now and then so we can see the real homies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, like this fight taught me a lot about Steve Garcia. I knew he was a knockout machine. I knew he was a hype machine. I knew he was a highlight reel machine, but I didn't know that he was a thinking machine, right? I didn't know that he was like I've made this reference probably in 10 episodes of the show, number 11 probably now. He's a Marvel adaptoid, right? Like if he loses in the first 6 panels, he's going to whoop their ass in the next 30. That's just how he fights. He adapts. He gets better. He changes. and he shifts based on the opposition. And I think this was a prime display of that. And I'm curious to hear what name you have on the tip of your tongue. I'll let you take the lead on this one, Nano.
Yeah, man. I mean, and we're at a point now where it's starting to get to slim pickings, right? You're ranked. You're now heading towards the top, and there's only absolute dogs up there. And frankly, a lot of them have dance partners that have already kind of been established. Some of them I'm really looking forward to. And though there's a name that is pretty high up there, but I kind of think they're saving him for a rainy day. So look no further for Steve Garcia than a number 8 ranked opponent, someone that has proven to be tough as nails. And if Steve Garcia can get through a Josh Emmett, then he definitely deserves to now be one of those top guys in the world. So I'm going with a Josh Emmett as it could be a fight night. It could be a pay-per-view addition, but man, that's fireworks. And that it feels like 2 deserving guys at the top of their game looking to stay at the top of the division here. Your thoughts and any other names top of mind on your side, man?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, what up to the chat? Andrew Knotts, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're having a great freaking day, bro. Hope it's a beautiful day in paradise for you.
Leveled up. Good to have you.
And Tuco Tech said, I heard Movzar dropped out of the Pico fight. Pico should fight Garcia. My goodness. Isn't that fight in like a few weeks? I feel like that fight is right around the corner. That fight is July 26th, my brother. That fight is in 2 weeks. He just fought. There's just no way.
Yeah.
And that would not be a smart career choice for him.
I was going to say with his hands going 15 minutes, I wonder if he could.
Even just cutting weight twice in 2 weeks is wild.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how much more weight he gained, or if he were to know, it'd be tough. Yeah,
that's the thing, is he's going to come in at a sizable disadvantage with that because of the weight offset. I would say hell no to that. I don't think that's a smart move at all. What I do think would be a smart move, though, and I know, Nano, I know you're going to call me a hypocrite, right? And that's fine. You can. I am being one right now. I'm going to say invoke the Icarus effect. I'm going to say put him against an up-and-comer that's very sharp, that doesn't have a dance partner right now, that's sitting at number 7 on Tapology's rankings in welterweight, or in featherweight, sorry. Why don't we give him the miracle, Lerone Murphy?
And that's funny you say that, because that was the one name I sort of insinuated at, where it's like
Circled
I think,
around a little bit.
I just feel like the UFC has something in store for him. Though I feel he is, that makes sense. It almost feels like whether it's a Yadir or one of those top 5. I don't disagree. That was the other name I had in mind, though, by all means.
I think it's a solid freaking name, dude. Like, I can't help but think a lot of people call Lerone Murphy boring, right? But here's the thing. He's one of these fighters that just performs to the level of competition that he has in front of him on any given night. I think if you put a Steve Garcia in front of him, we're going to see the best Lerone Murphy we've ever seen, and we're definitely going to see the best Steve Garcia that we've ever seen inside of the UFC octagon. Now, with that being said, gotta read this comment out loud because it's funny as hell. Sav Jelly said, I heard Movzar versus Pico is going to be moved to 319. Movzar's never going to get a title shot. You know what? You're not wrong, Sav, because let me tell you a little fun fact. He's been scheduled for 20 fights in the UFC. Nano, without Googling, how many fights has he had in the UFC? He's been scheduled 20 times.
Man, that's a lot of scheduled bouts, and I'm going to say something crazy, like maybe like 3, maybe 4. I'm going to say 4.
I mean, honestly, I respect the fade. I respect the smoke. 9 times is still an embarrassing amount for 20 schedulings. Like, to have fought 48 or 49% of the time that you're actually scheduled to fight. You imagine showing up like Monday through Wednesday for work for a 5-day job?
Nuts. No, I'd like to imagine that, but that's not real.
I mean, it's a good imagination to have, my friend. But you'd get fired. it wouldn't fly with the bosses.
Would not fly.
I'm surprised he still has a job at the UFC. Like, I'm surprised he's not on the PFL tournament roster, just flaking out of that instead. But I digress, man. Sav, is that not an insane stat? I read that and was like, that's fucking wildly wild. I I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm also just dancing around time because we have 2 more fights to cover and we didn't get either of them right. But here we are in the co-main event of the evening. So I'll let him say it better than I can. What time is it?
It's time!
For us to pour another shot while we go over this welterweight co-main event between Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Gabriel Bonfim. My freaking goodness. What a fight this was. We almost hit, boys and girls. We almost hit not only on the finish with Wonderboy, not only on the money line with Wonderboy, but also on picking round 3. Oh my God, he almost knocked him out with a split open shin. Oh man, as I opened the bottle to pour this up, I actually couldn't be more happy. I couldn't be more happy with pouring this shot because as Sav Jelly just said so beautifully in the chat, just thanks for making me not feel like Andy Samberg. You know what I'm saying? A Lonely Island boy. Or a Lost Island, whatever. The Lonely Island boy, is that what they were? Whatever. Anyways, the Lonely Island.
Yeah, both. Yeah. Lonely Island,
Thanks for not making me feel like I'm on a lonely island here. I wish I was wrong on this one. Unfortunate decision here. Fucking thanks, dude. Thanks. Me too. I agree. I wish you were wrong here too. Dude, how he stopped for a second, looked down at it, shook his head, then rocked the fuck out of Bonfim so hard. Thank you, Sav. I literally had that written down in my notes. Like, he literally looks down at his leg like, oh, that's not great. Clack! Fuck off, dude. Fucking smashes homie in the head with it. I grew up in Louisiana. I've seen crazy shit. Crazy gangster shit. That might be the most gangster shit I've seen in a very long time. Like, that's the most gangster shit I've seen since my Papa Rufus came back from hunting turtles and fucking asked me how I was doing in math as he poured whiskey on his gashed open hand that was gashed open from here to here and then proceeded to sew it up with fishing line and a fucking sewing needle. Like, that's how hard that was from Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That was wild, bro.
That's hard. And all I gotta say to that is, I like turtles.
I like turtles. I like turtles too. Turtle soup's one of my favorites. I watched my roommate who was obsessed with turtles cry as I ate turtle soup when we went to New Orleans, Louisiana in 2019. One of my best memories, probably one of his worst. And to that, we say cheers to you for ebbs and flows, for the ups and downs of the MMA sport, and for all the good things that we hope happen for you this year and every year to come. Cheers to you. And cheers to this chapter.
Salute.
Sav Jelly said, I saw someone say Wonderboy is the real karate hottie. I actually agree with that. Yeah. I actually agree with
circles, that. I'm sure in some circles, to certain people, he would be known as the karate hottie. But
I would tell you, like, we met Michelle Karate Hottie Watterson, and I mean, definitely a hottie who does karate.
That is my karate hottie. But
I digress.
If
I met Wonderboy, I feel like he would charm the fuck out of you. I feel like we'd be leaving saying he's the real Johnny Lawrence, man. Cheers. Let's fucking go, Miss B. I know you're doing shots with us every time. I appreciate it.
He's the Rizzler. Yep. We see the smoke. We like it.
Tuco Tech LLC. Did he actually cry? I would have been crying too, but of laughter. Ouch, dude. Ouch. Tuco Tech, you're fucking savage, brother. You've changed. I'm kidding. You've always been a fucking asshole. But I love you. I love you all the same, brother. So, no, I'll take the lead on this one. Look, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson looked fucking good in this fight, and I don't understand how they gave his opponent the decision, right? Like, when did we start scoring takedowns over damage? When did we start scoring takedowns over striking? Total strikes, 78-55. Significant strikes, 42-40. That's a clear win for Wonderboy, in my opinion, if there's no knockdowns. Oh, by the way, there fucking weren't, right? But if you look at who got rocked more, I would say that was Bonfim. He got rocked in every fucking round by Wonderboy. I mean, the dude is a beast. He's fucking old. He's 40. How old is he? He's like 42. In 42. Fight years, that's fucking prehistoric.
I think 62. Yeah.
I mean, call him Yoel White Marrow, bro. Like, he's going to do this till he's 50. The dude is a fucking beast. I'm surprised I got no reaction from you. Yoel White Marrow? Nothing? Nothing?
Yeah, no, bone marrow. That's fair. That is a good. That's fair. I like it. Tough crowd.
Fucking tough crowd, man. I'm pretty sure this was an old haha, but I'm going to just pretend that it was for this. So thanks, Andrew. I appreciate you, my friend. Sav Jelly said, everyone but the judges knows it's damage over control. Bonfim fought to survive and Wonderboy fought to win. That made me so mad. Me too. I was spitting angry. I forget what movie that's from. Great quote. Yeah, I was spitting angry during that fucking moment because I really thought Wonderboy won it. I was so upset. Me and Mary bet a shot on that. She did not have to drink. I did. That was a recurring thing throughout the main card. I actually won all of my bets on the prelims. And then me and Mary started betting shots on the main card, and I lost every fucking one of them almost that I bet against her on. Outside of Vitor Petrino. I mean, and Steve Garcia. I mean, come on, bro. That's tough fucking pickings, bro. Oh, but no. Kick me off, bro. Like, I mean, the shin splitting open, the fucking him looking down at it going, oh, that's gross. That's not good. And then rocking his opponent. Am I crazy? Like, you were on Bonfim here. You were against me on this, right? Like,
I was rooting
you
for
were
Wonderboy.
correct, but like, come on, you got to call a spade a spade. Wonderboy won that fight.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I wasn't really rooting one way or another. Like, again, I'm ego out of it. I'm aware that I'm not going to get 100% of the picks right. So, like, if I'm wrong, I'll be here happy as can be and, get a little buzz along the way. But no, my brother, I mean, it was a great fight. I think first and foremost, it was a great fight. It was back and forth, had me on the edge of my seat. Would not have wanted to be a judge that night. I, using the eyeball test, felt like Wonderboy was going to get the nod. I think part of it was a little bit built in, the fact that he's the OG. Not that he's the champion, but it's almost like if he's the A and, Bonfim's the B, he was the ranked opponent, right? So it's almost like you have to almost do it definitively. That's just how I feel personally. I know it's not probably popular and may not be how the judges look at it. Like, they're more maybe X's and O's, or unfortunately, like Sab kind of mentions here, they just weigh the takedowns more than I feel like they should, especially if someone's sub 50% of their takedown, I guess, successful takedowns, right? Like in this case, you're 2 for 6 or 3 for 7. It's like
5 for 14, 35.7% clip for those of you that are bad at math.
So it's just like,
sorry, brother. I got the stats on lock.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think maybe even one of the rounds it was like less than 50%. Yeah, it's just, and that's where, the reality is.
And what did they do with the control time? Did he land significant strikes at all? That's my biggest issue. Yeah. Is like if you're on top, if you're controlling me, that's one thing, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're controlling me to no end, you're not hunting for submissions. There were 0 submissions attempted from Gabriel Bonfim off of 5 takedowns. And he was outlanded on total strikes and significant strikes by a decent amount. Like, for me, I can't justify it, bro. Like, it's just bad judging.
So that's where it makes it hard, right? Like, it's something that I feel, and Sab Jelly again mentioned it, where everything but the judges know it's damage over control. But that's where I feel like that should weigh in more, like damage on the feet, the strikes. I think that should still weigh more than even just the one takedown without control time. Like, to me, it's like that's like scoring a point. Like for Wonderboy, that's like scoring a leg kick, right? A head kick or a body kick, even a calf kick. Like, those are still lethal strikes that hurt your opponent and are equally as debilitating or as meaningful as a takedown, that with no control even. So takedown control can maybe be way different. But again, if you're stuffing, like if you keep your opponent to sub 50%, like, to me, that's you doing a better job than your opponent. Like, even though he may have got you down 5 times, and maybe there's a minute or two, but it's like, but the rest of the time, like, I just felt Wonderboy was doing more But again, hey, I'm one that wants to see violence. I'm one that likes seeing the guy kind of beat what you do best, right? Like we all know he was going to go out there and try and grapple, he being Gabriel, and Wonderboy was able to avoid that more often than not and still was able to land more strikes. Like if you were to tell me that Wonderboy landed more strikes than Gabriel Bonfim and he didn't get his hand raised, like I would have been shocked. I'd be like, what do you mean? Like if he landed more strikes than Bonfim, that means that he was on his feet, which means should have won. So yeah, brother, I feel like, I'm getting away from maybe the X's and O's here, that's just how I feel too, brother. Like my feeling was that it was a great fight. And Wonderboy kind of proved that he's a Hall of Famer, first ballot, if you want to call it that. And Gabriel earned his ranking. He beat him on the judges' scorecard, and that's all that matters. Everything else from there is just opinions, and just like buttholes, we all got him. But here we are showing our butts. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna finish that.
That was a loose butthole of a decision, bro.
Exactly. Well said, man. Loose butthole, but I love Wonderboy, man. I mean, he went out on his shield. Like I was kind of hoping for that Robbie Lawler type moment. I don't know what's next for Wonderboy if he's gonna keep fighting. If he doesn't, that's totally fine. He does great with the analysis work. He does great on YouTube. He has his academy. Like he could probably coach if he wanted. He could probably model in Sav Jelly's book. Apparently, she'd buy a catalog. It sounds like. So do all those things, and now, hey, it's a young man's sport. And with the Gabriel Bonfim in a great position now, sitting pretty on the ranking board, has a number next to his name now. I mean, obviously anyone with a name, right? I mean, to keep it simple, maybe someone like a Gilbert Burns. I love my boy Gilbert, but he feels like the oddball out here when I'm looking at the landscape of the top 15, just because like doesn't have a dance partner. And he's kind of the last bit of that old regime almost next to Kobe Covington, it feels like to me, and Kamaru, but Kamaru still has some dog left in him. How are you feeling about what's next for Mr. Bonfim and potentially Wonderboy if it's not quits?
Yeah, so for Bonfim, after coming off of a big win like that, I feel like you got to give him a Colby Covington or a Randy Rude Boy Brown. I think Randy Rude Boy Brown has got to be the move. That's the one that I really want to see. Like he wants that fight. And that's the thing, man. That's the thing. Tico Tech said, tell another butt story. I would, but I'm not supposed to tell people stories about my personal friends. So I don't want to tell any people any stories about you, since you're a big butt. Tico Tech.
I would, but it's too long.
Ooh, got him.
I got a long butt crack. Yeah, big butt.
Big butt. I'm a girl. I don't have a butthole. Fair. Wonderboy wants to be the oldest fighter. LOL. 5 more years. God, he's the Hugh Jackman. They're gonna make you do this till you're 90.
Oh hell no!
Hell no! No! Hell no!
No.
You got to do Randy Rude Boy Brown though. I think that's the move.
I like it.
If you want to get a little bit richer for your blood, maybe Leon Rocky Edwards, but I don't know. Might be a little bit too much.
Yeah, I don't want no diabetes, so we'll stick with that. Yeah, we'll stick with
Speaking of too sweet, we're gonna pour up a shot for a fight that lasted 35 seconds. It's a bout at heavyweight between Derrick the Black Beast Lewis and Taliesin Teixeira. Holy smokes, what a fight for as long as it lasted. I literally told Mary, I was like, he was faking that eye poke for sure. He was faking that eye poke for sure. And she's like, I don't know, he got punched in the eye. Maybe he wasn't. But
my balls is hot.
And I'm also right all the time. So here we go. I was right on that. He said it at the post-fight press conference. Teixeira got humbled. You're right, Sav Jellies. And you know what? So are we with this shot. We're getting humbled real quick. Fuck. The best of times I'll say is the worst of times, my friend. Fuck, no. You want to do the last cheers here, brother?
I got you, man, because it is my fantasy player. My fantasy, I don't even know what to call him anymore, man. I might have lost the words. But that's my guy nonetheless. So I will put up what I got in my hand here, which is a shot, a little Macallan 12. Olin's got one as well. If you are of age, which is 21 in here in America, in your country, whatever it may be, go ahead and put one up if you like. If you are going to do so, do it responsibly. And if not, feel free to grab a Gatorade. I like sparkling water. Hey, you like
Or if your
soda,
name
go
is
ahead and splurge.
Sterling, maybe grab a Capri Sun.
Or Capri Sun if you're S Dogs. And what we're going to do real quick here is just have a little time to be grateful, right? To show some gratitude. Win, lose, or draw, we have an opportunity to fight another day. And that's what I'm going to raise one up for here. Whether you got hot balls or you're cold as balls, we appreciate you. And cheers to keep going and keep growing. I'm going to always end it with that one. Salute. And that's what I'm going to tell Taliesin, man. Keep going and keep growing, baby. Don't let this one stop you. And the Derrick Lewis, shout out to the ground and pound. I know what he's going to be doing to his wife, so shout out. Chee wee wees.
Chee wee wees indeed, my friend.
Derrick Lewis is back, though, my brother. I mean,
He's
big
back.
performance.
Take the lead.
You know, I mean, again, I got to defend my boy Taliesin. It's hard to determine, right? It was so gosh darn quick. I think he looked good. He looked comfortable. I don't think the stage was too big. He thought he heard him. Like I said, he played possum, and Derrick caught him with the left hand, which I thought would have been harder given the length, given the height. But Derrick's got some long arms, and he played it correctly. Got in the zone, landed it flush on the kissa, on the chin. And though I felt like it was a little bit of an early stoppage, again, I'm biased. I'm talking about someone that is on my fantasy team, so I obviously did not want this to happen at all. Granted, he did grab the fence with both hands. Granted, it is Derrick freaking Lewis.
Grab the fence with both hands? Respectfully, he climbed the fence with both hands, my brother. My brother.
Hey.
Respect.
Respect. And all I will say, in Western Mass, we see as well, Taliesin cheated twice in 35 seconds. Well, you know what, WMC, who's keeping count? Apparently you are. And, you know, although many other things did not happen in this fight, what I would say is what I want to see happen is a lifeless body in there, okay? I want to see those heavyweights be absolutely out cold, okay? Don't come in there all small-bodied. I forget the ref. Is it I'm blanking on the name. There's a little homie though with the little buzz fade.
Josh Van?
No, not Margliato.
Oh, the ref?
Yeah. Yep.
Keith Peterson?
Herzog. Thank you.
Herzog, Jason Herzog.
Yeah, Jason Herzog. I was like, he's an OG.
I was like, I'm trying to think like two people that have the best hair are probably Jason Herzog and Keith Peterson. I feel like Keith Peterson, when he doesn't reek of cigarettes and whiskey, he's got a decent
solid, part and everything. Yeah. Herzog. Why is a little Herzog in there? Get one of the big dogs in there when the heavyweights are going. Is always my opinion personally. I don't know why that happens, but yeah, I guess I'm going to throw it back to you, my brother. I thought it was a robbery in the sense that it was a little quick, but it sounds like the general consensus is that cheaters don't get rewarded. Is that how you feel as well? And curious to hear what you have in mind next for these big boys. And I'll be sure to, respond to that. But talk to the people, man. Give it to us, no filter. How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling sad about this one. Because we picked the wrong guy. We suck again. It's tough, man. We picked the wrong guy in this one. It's also tough to match people up at heavyweight because it's just such a shallow division, right? You could tell me that you want to see Derrick Lewis fight Tom Aspinall next, and I'd be like, yeah, do it at the White House. Why not? He talked to Donald Trump right after. And I mean, like, he definitely asked him, can I fight Tom Aspinall in the backyard?
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
Maybe not. But either way, he did talk to Donald Trump. I don't know what he talked about, but he talked about some stuff and some things. And this fight in totality, Nano, it had 13 total strikes landed. That's wild, bro. But it also lasted 35 seconds. So, as my guy Western Mass Climber, shout out WMC, Allison cheated twice in 35 seconds. That is pretty impressive. Sav Jelly said he didn't cheat. He got knocked out. He did both. Both is good. And apparently Lewis was acting. Yes, he said it in the cage, and he said it in the post-fight presser. What up, Luna? Hope you're having a great night. I see you. Is she up to no good right now?
No, I thought I heard her. Well, getting into her toys and such, but it's quiet now. So we back, baby. We back.
Oh, brother. Don't worry about Luna making noise. It's never a disruption. It's just a cameo. You got to think of it in the right light. Perspective is all.
Got a lot to say. Absolutely.
She's an MMA fan too. She watched the fights when I came out. Herzog looks smaller than he is, to be honest. I mean,
Fair. And these two guys were big, so maybe that's why as well.
I got to be honest. I disagree. I saw Herzog in person. He's a small man. No disrespect to my boy Drew, but Drew was looking extra big that day next to Herzog. I'm just saying. It was money in the bank. I'd pick Drew over Herzog in the octagon, brother. No, shout out Drew. But he does have a really small head. That's also a fact. He was carrying a small child when he walked past me and Drew at UFC San Diego, and the small child wasn't that much smaller than Jason Herzog, and I'll leave it at that. All jokes aside, going back to the fight, Derrick Lewis was back to rare form. I mean, we've seen him fake the belly punch. We've seen him fake the hurt fucking body shot in general, and it worked. This time it worked in spades. He faked like his eye was hurt. He backed up and then boom! Get fucked, dude. It was nasty stuff. Derrick Lewis is the only thing he does better than act is fight, right? And we saw that on Saturday night. And what do I think is next for him? I wouldn't be mad at a Tom Aspinall fight. I do think Tom would murk him though, bro. I don't think it'd be a great fight for him. But what I could see is this, right? Like we've already seen him fight Jailton Almeida. So we don't want to see that again necessarily. But I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Curtis Razor Blades. They have also fought, but it hasn't been in a long time. It was back in February of 2021. And he actually knocked Derrick Lewis out, right? He hasn't had a ton of knockouts like that. So I'd love to see him run that one back, but I'm curious to hear, do you have any names on the tip of your tongue?
It's kind of tricky, right? Because looking at the current landscape, he literally has fought everyone that's ranked above him. So what I will say to that is it's hard, right? I think timing makes everything. And if you're Derrick Hotballs Lewis, it feels like no matter what, you're going to be the ace side when it comes to the popularity, besides maybe a matchup with like a Tom Aspinall or someone like that. But you got to give him someone that makes sense, someone that's on his same level. And I mentioned the name earlier, but it almost feels like a Shamil probably makes the most sense for a Derrick Hotballs Lewis. Both are highly ranked. If Shamil wins and beats a Derrick Lewis, that's huge for his career. But honestly, I mean, after that, like he's literally fought everyone else or someone's already fighting. So I don't think it makes sense to find someone that's not ranked to throw in with the Derrick Hotball Lewis.
I like the Shamil shout, bro.
And I think Shamil has to be it, bro.
Shamil O'Neal, brother. Like to the top, to the moon.
Like you said, we're looking at slim pickings in this division, and half of them already find each other. So there's one guy that's sitting in the wing, just like Batman in the Batcave, just in the nighttime, waterfall, bats flowing around. He's ready, brother. He's ready to answer that.
See you at the top status, brother. I'm with it, dude. I'm with it. Oh, I like that.
That could be a kind of an eliminator, right?
Number one contender fight, yeah.
Yeah.
I was literally just thinking the same exact thing. Derrick Lewis versus Shamil O'Neal is it's a number one contender fight. Oh, you're giving me much to think about, Nano. I like that. Western Mass Climber said agreed. Shamil is a great shout. I'm telling you, bro, like that's
tribe has spoken.
It's a good one. Sav Jelly said the winner of that one fight coming up. You're right. Whichever fight you're talking about, I'm sure you're correct on it.
Yeah, one of those two guys.
One of those two guys. One of those guys. I was just saying, one of these guys that wins. That's who he should fight. That's it. That's the one. Folks, listen, we're hitting that 2-hour mark. We appreciate each and every one of you. There's like 20 of you watching right now, and it means the world to us that you're watching. Whether you're watching live right now or on replay later on, we appreciate you. And we'd really appreciate once the episode wraps, if you could hit that like, that comment, and that subscribe button. Smash that bell for notifications. You know the drill, folks. And if you do none of the things we just asked you to do, if you haven't even paid attention and you've just been mindlessly having us on in the backdrop, we appreciate that all the same. But what we'd really appreciate is if you do us these next two things. We'd really appreciate if you keep on going and you keep on growing, folks. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.